Thank you for wrestling with and sharing with us how we come to trust. Not blindly, not easily, but there in the mix of life, trying to figure out what can we trust, who can we trust trust ourselves, and can we trust this path that we're on? It's all what Psalm 62 is all about. The Psalms found in the very center of the scriptures are Israel's songbook, are Israel's reflection to God and reflection to the writers' selves about what is this faith? What is this trust? Last Monday at our Bible study, as we read through and wrestled with this text, we noted that in it, the writer is doing what Alice has done, really wrestling with these high and so nice sounding words, like we heard in today's opening hymn, that indeed in God we can trust, and yet needing to take that high, nice idea and bring it down into the reality of our lives. As we hear the psalmist wrestle through, let's listen to our own lives and our own question about our own wrestling with trust. Psalm 62 begins like our opening hymn with a word of trust in the story in which we all live and has been entrusted to us to remember. For God alone, my soul waits in silence. For God comes my salvation, my wholeness. God is only my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly moved. And then, just like it happens, the psalmist looks at their own small story of trust and sees that the people around them have not been so trustworthy. How long, God, will you set upon me people to shatter me? Like a leaning wall, a tottering fence. How long, God? They only plan to thrust me down. They take pleasure in falsehood. They bless with their mouths, but inwardly they curse. The psalmist returns to that higher trust that we are called to. For God alone, my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from God. God only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken. On God rests my deliverance and my honor, my mighty rock, my refuge is God. Like in repeating it, God might make it more real, that I really can trust in the midst of adversity and in the midst of struggle. And then the psalmist becomes a preacher, looking out at the people around them and says, trust in God, you people, at all times. Pour out your hearts before God, for God is a refuge for us. And then the psalmist goes deeper and sees something about how life really is and says, look, you people of high estate are nothing but a breath. And you people who are of low estate are nothing but a breath. In the balance, whether we think of ourselves or know ourselves as high or low, got it together or not together at all, In the balance, we all go up. We are together lighter than a breath. So, put no hope or confidence in extortion. Set no vain hope on robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart on them. Don't put your heart on the price of game shop stock today. And then concluding, once God has spoken, and twice I have heard this, that power belongs to you, O God, and that to you, O God, belongs steadfast love. For you do return to each of us according to our work, or in other words, what really matters is not these high words that we say about in God we trust, but about how we really live them out in our day-to-day life. Well, at the end of our Bible study, I invited all of us to take this psalm and say, amidst this week and the joys and challenges we no doubt will face, to just keep thinking about what could bring me in the midst of all of that back to a place of trust. And beginning, I must say, on Monday afternoon, I was thrust into the deep end of the pool in wrestling with trust in my own life. I don't know, what for you brings up deep issues of trust for you? Where are those issues about trust and doubt and trust alive for you and in your life today? Well, for me, there's always triggers. There's always triggers when I am thrust into a situation where I have to think about the future, or when I have to think about finances. And all I want to do is not trust the big story that, I can trust in you, God, but I run to my small story that, oh my gosh, I have to have all this figured out, and I don't have this figured out, and if only I had this all figured out, I would be on top of all this, and I wouldn't be wrestling with trust. But it's an illusion that we're all going to have it all figured out, and if only we do, then it's all just easy. We're always wrestling with our futures. We're always wrestling with wanting to control what is not controllable, which is this unfolding of life. And trust came back to me, of course, with my wrestling with my darn foot, which, alas, is getting better. But as the doctor and some of you have reminded me, it is a slow work, this work of healing. And I have struggled with trusting that indeed, with doing my exercises and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that perhaps, maybe, hopefully, that someday my foot will be healed and I will be out on the road again. And who will I be someday when I won't be able to do that? And finally, at the end of the week, like yesterday, I was literally thrust into abject fear and wondering, what in the heck could I trust in? It's been a great gift these last couple of weeks that my sister has been visiting. She's a teacher in Maryland, and one of the gifts of COVID is that she's able to teach remotely here. And so yesterday, she proposed that, why don't we go to the Camden Snow Bowl and go on the toboggan run? Which sounds like, great idea. And in my pursuit of all things Maine, I jump on it and we take off late morning to go to the toboggan run. We get there And for those of you who have done this experience, you know that you are given a very, very long and very heavy toboggan that you drag across and you look up, which is the equivalent of a 7-story building where you've got to haul now your very heavy toboggan up the steps to the top of this very long chute. And along the way, with my very long and very heavy toboggan, I turn to the little children in front of me, asking them, trying to be nonchalant, but asking, "So, is this fun?" "Oh yes," they tell me, "it's very fun." "Is it scary?" "Oh yes, it's very scary." "Do I hold on to these little ropes here on the side?" "Oh no, you don't do that. You hold on to each other. You hold on to the rope in front." May I just tell you that once the little pivot goes up and you are thrust down a little rickety wooden chute coated with ice on a little piece of wood going 32 miles an hour, it is something beyond screaming. It is just abject terror as you go out then onto the frozen lake dotted with ice fishermen. We spin around and get up, and my sister immediately says, "Oh, now we've got to try again. I want you to try being in front." Well, being the nice, compliant brother as I'm trying to be, and it would only be fair to do this again another way, I go off for one more ride down the chute. But I must tell you, at the end of the second thrust down that chute and out over the lake that never seemed to end, I got up immediately and made myself very clear. I never, ever, 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 ever have to do that again. Fear shows up in our lives. Issues of trust show up in our lives expectantly and often unexpectedly. And there we are, down a rickety, icy chute, wondering, what can I trust? Who can I trust? And where is trust? And some of us know what I'm talking about because you're on that chute today. And I must tell you, in the midst of my own personal wrestling with doubt and faith and trust this past week, I've had another story in my hands. It's been Glory Blethen's story. Glory and I talked a couple of weeks ago about how her senior year is unfolding. And she shared with me her own story of what she's discovered in this year and what she's discovered about a wider, so much deeper sense of trust that has been a real, true encouragement to me. And I know will be to us. So I want to thank you, Glory, for the risk and vulnerability of sharing your story and sharing it in the hope that whatever chute we're on, we get another story, and a story of trust there with us and among us.
When I was invited to speak this morning about the challenges and gifts from this past year, I was excited and a little nervous. That is a very heavily weighted statement to answer. This year has affected a lot of us. It has been a lot. Some good, some bad, some both. But I have felt connected to God more than ever before. God has put so many blessings in my life. My friends, my family, this community, this earth. I have to believe this has all happened for some reason. A couple weeks ago, I had a very breathtaking and emotional dream. Now, while I won't go into all the details of this dream, a key takeaway is similar to what we've taken away from this past year. Don't take life for granted. We are all so fortunate to live in this community, on this peninsula, surrounded by the vast ocean, the tall trees, the fresh air. I am only 18 years old. I have so much life ahead of me, new experiences, new memories, opportunities, new people. Yet sometimes I don't feel like I have enough time. It is a scary thought that I can't yet wrap my head around. There is no stopping time, but we can control how we use it. Through my dream, I realized it will be okay. I will be okay. In my dream, the world around me was collapsing. My life was coming to an end, kind of how some people feel today. I couldn't stop it, and I kind of had to accept what was about to come. I was dying. Now, I do not tell you this to be dark or to freak people out, but in this dream, and the reason I want to share this with all of you, is something remarkable happened. I physically felt, my body lifting, rising, my eyes becoming light, a white cast shone over them. I woke up abruptly, not necessarily scared, but as if I gained a new perspective. Something had risen from my body, but also left something behind. A new perspective. God sent me a message. Fulfill your life, because you never know when it might end. Do what makes you happy. If you want to stay home and watch a movie, stay home and watch a movie. If you want to eat that slice of cake, eat that slice of cake. If you want to pursue a new hobby, pursue a new hobby. This is your life, your choice. Do what makes you happy. Count your blessings. Tell your close ones you love them. Forgive. This year, 2020, it is new. It is fresh. Although everything we wished would disappear still might be here, try to make the best of it. I have accepted my appointment to the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. I look forward to that in 2021. As I graduate Boothbay Region High School and head on to the world outside of this peninsula, I'm excited for new experiences, new opportunities, and to take part in a mission that will lead me to serve my country. I have closer friendships this year than ever before. My classmates and I find new ways to still make memories during our different and strange senior year. We participated in the lighted boat parade, stood in the pouring rain, socially distanced and masked, waving and cheering as we passed through the harbor. Showing ourselves in the community, we aren't backing down. Through quarantine, I was able to spend more time with my family than ever before. I am healthy, I am fortunate, I am grateful and blessed for these gifts. I pray for all of you listening that you grasp 2021 and go embrace it. The year of 2020 has taken away my senior year, opportunities to see people and travel around the country for the sport I love. But like Benjamin Franklin once said, with adversity comes opportunity. Yes, it has been hard, but let's find ways to make these challenges our gifts. Life is short. Go outside, take a good inhale and exhale of that salty air, and let's make it a great day. Like the elementary school says, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. Thank you.